Good day, guys. Good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. People, I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit nervous enough, people. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not going to ahead and talk a big semi-final game coming up later on tonight. The Jamaica Reggae Boyz versus Mexico. Seeing a huge game for the Jamaica Reggae Boyz. From I know myself till now, being a Reggae Boyz fan, we have been dying to get our hands on this Gold Cup trophy. This edition of the Gold Cup is undoubtedly thus far the most realistic chance the Jamaica Reggae Boyz have of winning this elusive trophy. From I know myself till now, we want to win the trophy, and this trophy just keeps on evading us. Seeing this is the best chance for the Jamaica Reggae Boyz to do it. This is the biggest test that stands in our way of us doing it. This Mexican team that we will play later on tonight. This game thus far is undoubtedly the biggest game for Jaime Hallgrimsson in his tenure thus far as national team head coach, and it will be one of the biggest games overall in his tenure. When his tenure is all said and done, this game will be one of the biggest games of Jaime Hallgrimsson's tenure as Reggae Boyz head coach. It's the biggest thus far. Ladies and gentlemen, you see this picture on your screen, Papa Jesus. I wouldn't mind seeing another moment like this later on tonight. People, I wouldn't mind seeing another moment like this tonight. You guys remember this, ladies and gentlemen? We need another moment like this tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We need another moment like this tonight. Right? Reggae Boyz fans will never forget this moment on your screen right now when we beat Mexico in the 2017 Gold Cup final. Of course, that big free kick from Kemar Taximan Lawrence. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I am nervous, people. This is why I am nervous. You see this on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. This is the record, people. This is the overall record between Jamaica and Mexico on your screen. And on your screen is also the Gold Cup record between Jamaica and Mexico. And to say the historical data is not in our favor would be an understatement. The historical context is extremely one-sided, ladies and gentlemen. 27 games for Mexico and Jamaica in terms of 27 games between the two teams. Mexico has won 19 out of the overall 27 games we have played against them. 5 have been drawn and Jamaica has won only 3. Mexico has scored 68 goals in this tie. Jamaica has only scored 15. This is the 9th time we'll be playing Mexico in the Gold Cup. The 8 previous editions, Mexico won 6. 1 was drawn and Jamaica won 1. Of course, we all know, that game that the Jamaica Reggae Boyz would have won in 2017. Seeing 20 goals Mexico has scored on us in the Gold Cup, we have only scored 4 on them. People, I know that the historical context is not the end-all and be-all, but there is a reason. As a matter of fact, there are many reasons why the record is heavily skewed in the favor of the Mexicans, And I do believe that it is relevant to the discussion as it pertains to the game later on tonight. Some of you might disagree. Some of you may think the past is the past. Seeing, but ladies and gentlemen, the Reggae Boyz have had a torrid time against Mexico. That is facts. That is facts. You see why I'm nervous now, people? You see why I'm nervous now, people? When you look at the record, man, trust me, man, it no nice. It no nice. Seeing The fact of the matter is, it's a Herculean task the Reggae Boyz face later on tonight, right? Big facts. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, this Mexican team is the toughest team we will face all tournament. Seeing the toughest team, the toughest task, the biggest hurdle. Seeing, for starters, in my opinion, the strength, quality, and depth of this Mexican team makes me see this Mexican team as being the strongest team in this current edition of the Gold Cup. Seeing, that's the first thing. Second of all, teams that play the way that Mexico plays, we have always struggled against teams of that nature. Seeing, we have always struggled against possession-based teams, and especially Central American possession-based teams who carry that added element of physicality. Don't let the Mexican stature fool you. They have proven time and time again in Concacaf that they possess the ability to get stuck in, to get dogged, and to get dirty. You cannot be a powerhouse in Concacaf if you don't possess the ability to get dogged and to get stuck in. Seeing, possession-based teams with that extra element of physicality have always given the Jamaica Reggae Boyz a tough time. Seeing, ladies and gentlemen, for me, this particular game is a very, very easy game to predict from a run-of-play standpoint. Very easy to predict. More than likely, 99.999% likelihood is that the Reggae Boyz are going to park the bus. Seeing, stay organized, stay compact in defense, try desperately not to give the Mexicans a lot of time and space to play. Try to cut down on the spacing between the lines and the gaps between the respective positions on the field of play, and try as best as possible, seeing, to find some joy on the counter. More than likely, 99.999% likelihood, that is how the game is going to turn out. Mid to low block, defend for our lives, improvise, and try and see if we can get some joy on the counter attack, try and see if we can get some joy in transition. The fact of the matter is, every time we play Mexico, that's basically how the game turns out. Seeing, and what makes the run of play even more predictable is that Jaime Hallgrimsson, look, I rate Jaime Hallgrimsson, seeing, one of the few criticisms I have of Jaime Hallgrimsson, though, is that teams that are either on our level or even slightly better than us, like I think this Mexican team is, I think they're slightly better than us. Teams of that nature, Jaime Hallgrimsson does not seem to be willing to be brave, and does not seem to be brave enough to try and play on the front foot or attempt to play on the front foot against teams like that. And that is one of the few criticisms I have against Jaime Hallgrimsson. Because of that, I think this particular game, the run of play, is very easy to predict. So Reggae Boyz fans, don't get flustered, don't get frustrated later on tonight. If by any chance you see the Jamaica Reggae Boyz struggling to keep a hold of possession in this particular game, 9 out of 10 chances, that is what we're going to see in this particular game. Seeing, we might go at them in the first 15 to 20 minutes, and more than likely that will be just about it. Most of this game, it would be defending wave after wave after wave of Mexican pressure. That's how me personally, that's how I foresee this particular game turning out tonight. To be fair, I guess it doesn't matter how the game goes from a run of play standpoint, seeing, as long as we can get the win as long as we can grind out a result against this Mexican team. That's the only thing that really matters. To be fair, tonight is one of those few nights when really and truly I really don't give a damn how the Reggae Boyz play from a run of play standpoint. As long as there's fight, as long as there's grit, as long as there's determination, as long as the boys put in a shift, just grind out the result they give me. Reggae Boyz, me not really give a damn if it's pretty. Me not give a damn if we go toe to toe with Mexico. Just give me the result. That's all I want from my Jamaica Reggae Boyz later on tonight. The last game, the quarterfinal game against Guatemala, I had done a video on that, saying that the fact of the matter is we have to improve against Mexico if we're going to stand any chance of victory versus the Mexicans. Seeing facts, the boys need to improve upon their lackluster performance against Guatemala if they stand any chance of beating the Mexicans later on tonight. The deficit in quality between Jamaica and Guatemala was so big that we had enough quality to get by the Guatemalans despite playing nowhere near our best. Seeing that can't go on tonight. That can't go on tonight. Intensity levels, energy levels have to be at their highest if we are going to grind out a result tonight. Seeing facts. The last two games between Jamaica and Mexico have both ended in draws. So even though the overall record against Mexico rather, has not been great from our standpoint, at least we can take some solace going into this particular fixture, knowing that the last two games was a 1-1 and 2-2 draw, respectively. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't even complain if the Reggae Boyz can be on even footing at the end of full time, at the end of extra time. If we can be on level footing with this Mexican team and take this game to penalty shootout and try and win it, that's all. Mood even knock that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyhow, we can get this victory later on tonight. Just give me the victory. Me not really give a damn how we get it. If we hold on, if we hang on for the 90 and the extra time, I will win it in the penalty shootout as long as we get to the final. That is what is important. That is what matters to me. Seeing the other semi-final will be the United States versus Panama just before our semi-final. So we will be keeping an eye on that as well. Hopefully, from my perspective, hopefully the US beat Panama, because if we beat Mexico and get to that Gold Cup final, honestly, even though the US is the better team, I would honestly much rather play the United States of America in the final, because Papa Jesus, yeah, no, me not like Panama. Panama is another team where I can't stand Panama, man, honestly. Right? Me don't know why. Well, we know why. Panama has always been a bogey team, a tough little team for the Jamaica Reggae Boyz to play. So we'll keep an eye in that particular game as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I am wishing my Jamaica Reggae Boyz all the best later on tonight. Quickly, before we go, this is what Johan Vasquez, I believe is how his name is pronounced. He's a Mexican player, right? He had some words to say about this particular game later on tonight. Thought I would share it with you guys. It's on your screen. He's quoted as saying, "It's a little weird since I've been with the national team. We have played 4 times against Jamaica, but I've never had the chance. I've always been on the bench, but from there you can see that their players are very fast." He also went on to say, "In the last game, this past March, they counter-attacked us several times, one of which ended up in a great goal from their striker. So tomorrow, we have to be aware that it won't be an easy game. There are players of great stature and are in Europe, several of them in England. There are players who, if you give them a little bit of room, they'll hurt you. So that is the game later on tonight from the standpoint of a Mexican player. You see, they're already expecting the counter-attacks from Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish my national team all the best later on tonight. Father God, may I beg you, give we a victory tonight. Father God, may I beg you, give we a victory tonight. See, knock up the like button, subscribe and share. Take care, stay safe, and until next time.